3 years ago, we got contacted, right after the earthquake, we got contacted by those Irish fellas who had a company called Java Republic, and they asked us some samples of our dry method coffee, our wash method coffee. We sent it to them, and they were very happy about what they got from the dry method.
Once we tasted it, we knew it was a good coffee. But Rabo had never dealt with us before, and we committed to buying $100,000 in a container worth of coffee. And we committed to bringing it in and paying for it 6 weeks in advance.
And a month later, the first container left. And that was for them, I think, the key success factor, because this was one of the first shipments out of Haiti after the earthquake.
Every year they doubled the quantity of coffee, of that particular type of coffee that they were getting from us. So when they told me that they were coming, I was very excited. Definitely Java Republic is going on the way, the direction, I think, that Rabo always wanted to have a partner going, meaning that we're developing a product together.
Haiti had its disaster. Absolutely no way would I be sitting here in Haiti unless they had the disaster. The Haiti story will eventually fizzle out in terms of the aid packages and the amount of programs, because some of the country, I'm not sure down in this area, but some of the country will take it over.
Java is a company that is very interested in knowing the history behind the products that they're selling.
What age is it?
Oh, he's 70.
70. Tell him I'm 43 and he looks younger. I'll show you something here. My family.
And they inform and educate their customers. So they wanted to see firsthand in Haiti, just like they've done in some other countries, what's happening, how's the relationship, how are the growers being treated, and everything.
But when you get up to the communities and you realize that it's actually jungle, and real jungle, as I've ever seen lush jungle, with everything growing where there should be just coffee, and potatoes, carrots, coconuts, avocados, anything I've ever seen, anything I've ever eaten seems to be able to grow out here. I mean, that to me is it's great in one sense, but the other side of it is they've got to concentrate on the cash of the crop. But again, they're wary that if they go into one crop and that's it, what happens when the sea contract in New York turns and the sea contract is out of their control, it's out of everybody's control. And that's the capitalism of coffee. It's a rotten system. How do you change it? You can only change it by relationships with co-ops. And co-ops are the only way to deal. Because co-ops, they have the power. And in Haiti, they're much more powerful farmers than I've ever met because they have a scarcity of a product over here. Coffee, it's sweet, it's the acidity in it is very good. It makes fabulous espresso. Does it make good filtered coffee? Because there's still a market there for that. It doesn't particularly, but we blended it. We blended with really high quality Sumatrans and with Brazilians. And as a single origin, it has merits. We're finding it very hard to get that right in brew bar and little filtered coffee programs. But the coffee is definitely unique. You'd know it's Haitian coffee already. We know it.
In the Chiot area, for example, we're working with a group called UPAB, and we've been in Chiot since 2004, where we opened our first purchasing center outside of Port-au-Prince, and it's been a great experience.
This co-op was invented 3 or 4 years ago based on transparency. and they want to make sure that there's overheads are covered and they actually see who gets the money. They're very loyal to Rebo, and Rebo's had to fight very hard to get the volumes of coffee. I'd love to hear, and we all would love to hear, a little bit about the co-op, the origin of the co-op. I'd love to know about the Haitian Blue, your involvement in it, what happened, and I'd also love to know, where is the quality focus? So when the farmers and particularly the executives sat down with us yesterday of the producing co-op, if they'd said, would you bank on coffee prices staying stable or being, in the future for their kids and their families growing into the coffee industry, you couldn't make that promise, because they wouldn't believe you, first of all, and second of all, they'd want a guarantee, and we can't guarantee. We're a small business based in a tough environment in Ireland, and we're hoping to take the Haitian coffee throughout Ireland, and it's in every town and every village in Ireland at the moment, and we're hoping to take it into the UK and anywhere else we can do it.
Right now, he is trying to tell his kids that coffee is not a bad thing. You could try it out, because basically he said, my father used to sell coffee at 50 cents to 75 cents
To a gourd.
of a Haitian gourd, which is nothing per pound. And when he started selling coffee at 2 gourds and a half a pound. And now right now he's selling coffee to Rebo at 65 to 70 gourds a pound. Okay? So he says that basically
Maybe when his kids
are his age, maybe they'll be selling at $70 a pound.
So all they're doing is for their kids to not go through what they went through. And one of the things that we try to push today in that community is the fact that they need to also reinvest a little bit more into the community where they grew up, which is not common, because Haitians tend to want to go from the rural area to the urban areas, and from the urban areas to outside of Haiti. A lot of them now have kids that are doctors and lawyers or whatever in the US, in Canada, or in France. That is for them the best proof of success.
What we're doing, it's trade and not aid, for want of a better word. It's helping the farmers. They have a continuous income, revenue coming through. And I got a very strong opinion from the guys that if that is constant and they buy into that, and one of the farmers mentioned that, they then have hope to continue improving the farming, improving the volume, improving the quality, that they'll stick with that, because they see that buy-in. I do believe if we were just to hand over money, it's another cause, it's another aid donation, and it's a one-off. We don't want to do that. We want to continue and build a relationship.
Catching that glimpse of what Haitians are really, not what you hear on the news, not what you get through the internet or on television, okay? They actually saw the good in Haiti, and for that I compliment them.